Watching and connected, but it's never enough. Talking with our friends about our favorite things. TV shows and movies and some random swearing. Hey! 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 This is the pretty, this is the little, this is the pretty little podcast.
Hello, all you pretty little people. This is the Pretty Little Podcast. I'm your host, Deputy Chad. With me is just Jess.
Oh, hi.
Jess, what are we talking about today?
Well, we're revisiting a topic we did on a previous episode.
It's true.
Long ago.
Episode 5
Was it?
of the show. Yeah.
I'll believe you. That was before I was like a regular
Yes.
on the show. But regardless, we're
You
doing
were
season...
a perpetual special guest.
I
back
was, yeah. And then we just gave up on that. And I'm like, well, I'm just here.
then. Yeah.
So, womp womp. No, we're talking about Dorohedoro. We did season 1 back in the day. And... we were fully under the assumption that we were just never getting a season 2.
Yeah. Mainly because of the pandemic and the fact that these things take forever anyway.
Well, and also...
Dorohedoro was not very well known.
No, I go to anime conventions a few times a year. I almost never, ever see any merch, any cosplay, any representation.
You're going to.
I hope
that
so.
is going to change very quickly.
Because I absolutely loved it. I think I told the story on the first Dorohedoro episode when I met Sean Chiplock, who is Kaiman's, not Kaiman, sorry, that's Alex Lee, Shin's English voice actor. He's known for a lot of different things. He didn't even have any art of Shin, who was one of my favorites. Right. And he was like, I have some at home. He was so excited that someone wanted something from, because he was like, I love this show. He mailed it to me from his house.
Yeah, I remember.
So I got Art of the Boy. But yeah, so it's like everybody involved with it loves it, but I hope season 2 did better. They did announce a season 3 after season 2 ended. So
it is actually gaining traction.
I'm glad. It's so weird. It's very violent.
Just kind of dropped on Netflix. Again, this was not a well-known, even though like the original like manga itself took 18 years to finish.
Right.
It ran from 2000 to 2018.
Q Hayashida,
yes.
The mangaka.
And then in 2020, that's when they dropped the first season on Netflix. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how well that did, but just over the past 6 years.
We loved it.
Huh?
We loved it.
Yeah, well, I think that it dropped in 2020, right after that, like the pandemic happened, right? Everybody was in lockdown. Right. So they got this taste of this weird, oddly like unique.
Very unique, very anime. Gross and violent in a lot of ways.
Find out
very
that
funny.
You have 18 years, I think there's like 26 volumes of the manga
23,
or something.
I think.
23?
Yeah.
And so during lockdown, people just went and read the manga. Mm-hmm. And yeah, there actually is quite a bit of talk about this series. I've watched a few YouTube videos kind of breaking it down and explaining it and everything. And just looking at the amounts of views that these videos are getting, I would say that Dorohedoro is more well-known than we think.
I'm so glad. Like, I'm so thrilled to hear that because we really enjoyed... And it was one of those things, I do have a Dorohedoro shirt that I would wear occasionally. And there was always at least one person just walking around and be like, oh my God, oh, you know this thing too. But, like I said, there was never, God forbid, I don't give a shit about Funko Pops. But it's like, I'm not seeing, Mr. N, a Kikarage plush, which I would absolutely buy a Kikarage plush.
They have one.
Well, I mean, at conventions, like when I'm out and about. I'm not talking about the internet. The internet has everything.
Yeah, eBay is full of Dorohedoro
Well,
merchandise.
I don't trust eBay.
But also at the top of the show, I'd like to give a shout out to a YouTube channel. It's called Better Devils. Uh-huh. And it's one of those deep dive channels that, they don't
what
have
you've
a
been
whole
in there
lot
doing
yet.
all day in the bedroom?
Yeah, I think they've only got like 4 years worth of content. So it's very minimal right now. It's Dorohedoro, Die Dark, Spawn. There's a couple of different franchises that they go into, but basically they break down like events and characters. So they'll break down like one video will be dedicated to a single character.
Right.
It'll break down who they are, what their powers are, how they got them, their relationship with other characters. Cool. And then like events like Blue Knight, they'll break that down. And so I highly recommend going and watching this channel. If you are just now getting into Dorohedoro after our recommendation here, this is a great place to start because this gets confusing real fast. Season 1 was
was very
awesome.
straightforward. It did have some like the baseball game or the softball game, whatever. It just kind of weird,
Right.
but that's
Well,
more
it
like
had-
anime trope type stuff. Like
It had one main focus. Kaiman was trying to figure out
Right.
what sorcerer put this spell on him to turn him into a lizard.
right.
That's like the main overarching plot for the entire season.
Well, just more or less, and then you've got the N family stuff, and then little
Right. They're giving you
side
lore in
things.
season 1
Yeah, sure.
about some of these characters that are super important, especially in season 2. But season 2 gets going, and oh my God. Like,
I love season 2.
no, season 2 is great. Don't get me wrong.
So much. Like, it really opened the world up. I love that it was nowhere near as simple as who did this to me. The whole point of season 1 is kind of trying to figure that out. And now if I go back and watch season 1, I'll be like, oh, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, my sweet summer child.
Yeah, it definitely
Who did this
gets...
to you? Well...
it definitely gets complicated real quick with season 2 because
I love
it's not
it.
only
Great.
with like the plot is now something completely different because
it's
we already
expanded
know,
because there's not a simple answer to that.
we already know the who and
but-
why because
yeah,
of season
yeah.
1. Now
Sure.
season 2 they've decided that the who and why isn't even like what matters.
But also you've got the flip side of Mr. N's main, focus in season 1 is finding a new partner, right? And he wants the one who can deal with time. And so he's trying to
Right.
figure out who that is. He finds out who that is. He binds Nikaido to him. And now season 2 is like the effect of that, So it definitely is like a overarching story between season 1 and 2. It's just season 2, they did a really good job with pacing seasons 1 and 2, like, because it is a very definite line between the two. And now what was a couple of branches like spider webs out
Right.
into all of these different things. But it does all make sense. It all links back together. It's really, I
it's
really
amazing.
like it.
Yeah, just know going into this, like you're gonna want to do some research. I would recommend before even watching season 1. Just go watch the Better Devils channel just to get the characters' backstories and everything. And you'll go into this far more prepared.
You might get spoiled for some stuff. I didn't watch it. I was in here playing Dragon Quest 2, so I didn't.
They don't really
wasn't
spoil
watching their Yuzu stuff.
anything.
Like for someone who had never seen season 1.
Well,
like who
I mean, they're going to
Ebisu
spoil
and,
some of that for
okay.
sure, but like they're not. That channel hasn't spoiled anything past season 2 yet. So
Right.
even though they base
So I would
all of their
say-
stuff more on the manga
Well, that's totally
than
fine.
the anime
There's
series.
there
because
really
there are differences.
Not huge in season 2 though. There's like some fights that are omitted. Things like when Dokuga goes and kills all the people at that like Shaitan club or whatever.
Mhm.
That's much longer and is shown. So there's different things that were in the manga that were cut or omitted, but like the story beats and all of that, totally the same.
Yeah.
No major changes in adaptation.
I also want to give a shout out to Mappa for this season 2 because the animation is markedly better than season 1. It
did
is
such a good
incredible.
job with this. They didn't do the Mappa thing nearly as much, like we had talked about on
No,
our
it's
Chainsaw
still
Man
all done with
and our
3D
previous
models, but
Dorohedoro
they have
episode.
perfected the way that like the movement, especially like with the walking and like the
Sure.
backgrounds moving with the characters,
Yeah.
is done superbly.
Well,
here.
it was really good because they did Attack on Titan,
Yes,
and there's a
this
specific
is directed
scene
by
with
the same guy who directed.
I don't know.
Attack
A lot
on
of people
Titan.
did. There wasn't just one director. But anyways,
Yeah.
no, there's a specific scene with Aikawa like running, like kind of doing parkour shit, like over rooftops and like swinging through. And it was so like
Yeah, it was
Levi
smooth.
Ackerman, like swooping through, or Mikasa or somebody
Mm-hmm.
from Attack on Titan. The whole like,
And
it
they've
was
got
great.
they have some kind of technique that they're using with overlaying. It could very well be hand drawn elements over the 3D models
Uh-huh.
because when the faces move and stuff like that, like their little blemishes or their like scratch marks or something
Yeah.
move in a way that wouldn't if it was part of the
Of the model.
model.
Right.
So
I know what
they're
you mean.
doing something weird with this animation. I think it's awesome because Dorohedoro is, if you look at the manga itself, imagine trying to animate that by hand.
Oh no.
It's not possible. Everything is just breathing and moving and
Yeah.
it's covered in filth.
It's very organic in like the most primal, rudimentary way.
Right. So the manga itself is far more grungy than the animated series simply because First of all, I mean, it's more colorful.
Well, it would be.
Yeah. But also the just the artwork in general for the manga is just dirtier looking.
Right.
And I mean, would I prefer that style? Sure. But I don't hate what Mappa has done, especially in season 2.
Well, I like the weird, like the opening for season 2 is fucking incredible. The song's banging, of course, but there's so many. It's, you know, that Body Worlds exhibit that we went to back in the day that turned out to be actually really horrific. If you don't know the history of that, geez, we had no fucking idea. We wouldn't have gone. But, you know, the whole, because, you know, it's like Shin is getting to everybody in this opening.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of shots of each character in the show getting their heads cut off or their faces sliced in half.
But it's all like Technicolor and like gorgeous. Like each part of each organ is a different color.
Opening,
but it's beautiful. Like, it would horrify my grandma, but I would dearly love like a large art piece, like from that, you know, whether it's Kaiman split in half or what have you. It's beautiful.
And this is honestly, this is a very visceral anime too, because it is over the top with the violence, blood, the gore, the body horror.
I mean, people die multiple times because others have powers to bring them back, you know? So yeah. Ooh, man, they get started. Like, ooh, and okay.
Do we need to set up the world here?
No,
I mean,
we did. Go listen to our season 1 episode. All right, welcome back. So, no, it gets started so fast, right? Because like one of my favorite parts, there's a lot of good characters in this, but Shin and Noe, even though they call her what do they say?
They call her Noi.
But then other characters do call her Noe. In this,
to be fair, if I read it, I would call her Noi.
1, I swear they called her Noe. And then now it's like a mixture of it. But whatever. I'm going to call her whatever I call her. It's Shin and Noe. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's fine.
Noi.
I don't think it matters.
Well, it bothers me. It's an inconsistency and I'd rather be correct. But no, and the first fight that they're a part, like, I love the way they piece out lore in this, because now one of the first things we come to realize is that sorcerers can actually be defeated really easily if you destroy the organ that makes them produce smoke. And like,
just stab them in their weak spot.
Yeah. And it's kind of where the liver is. And like Shin and Noe apparently don't know this at all. Like others, like it's the Cross Eyes. The Cross Eyes have discovered this. So they can go in and just...
Right.
And then they're down, and which is amazing because Shen's got his hammer, you know, and he's just, oh my God, I love how violent this is.
There's lots
really
of
cathartic in like the smashing and stuff.
A lot of kick-ass like action scenes in this,
good.
But it's also offset with, you know, still moments too. There are some great moments when Kasakabe and his wife reconnect.
Oh, sure.
And she went and took the devil exam and passed and became a devil.
Yeah.
And
but then it turns out she actually has a devil suit kind of thing, so she can sometimes get out, but then she has to go back in or she'll die.
Humans, if you're not created as a devil, you can take the exam and become a devil.
Right.
Those people,
That's what Asu did.
They're what's known as a core. They're the inside of the devil.
But Kawajiri, who's Asu, the demon who, you know, was close to Nikaido in the first season, or the devil, and who was close to Nikaido and ended up helping her to the point where he loses his right to be a devil. He's like carved out of the Asu form back to Kawajiri. But he was all like up in there. I got the impression that, you know how the sorcerers all have tumor devils in their head?
Yes.
I got the sense it was like that, with like the meat created around him when he's a devil. So he could have just gotten out?
They can get out of their devil suits.
All devils, or just
the ones that
wife?
Are either sorcerers or humans that take the exam and pass.
Maru. Yeah. No, I know.
If they are not created by
when
Chitaraga,
Asu was still a devil, he could have gotten out of that if he wanted.
Yes, but they can't stay out for very long.
Right, or they'll die. Okay. Also, Kasukabe's name isn't Kasukabe. He took his wife's name as a pen we're just going to call him Kasukabe.
Right.
His name's Hayes, but who cares?
And he's also much older than he looks.
We knew that from the first
his wife's
one.
or sorcerer magic, whatever.
Yeah, her devil magic,
him the ability to look young,
which is her devil magic, which is performed via song.
yes. What is it? It's like death metal.
Yeah, it's
comes kind of,
crazy.
But like the vocals are off key.
Oh yeah,
they're offbeat.
It's horrible.
It is so strange to hear her songs because your brain is trying to make it like make sense as music, and it doesn't.
It's so discordant and jarring. Yeah.
Yeah, that took a lot of imagination to make that sound like that, because every time that goes, because she does that like two or three times in the season.
She's like, "Oh, babe, hey, I wrote some new lyrics.
And
Want to hear them?"
It fucks with my brain every time because it can't make it into a song.
I know,
but it knows it's hearing music. It's so weird.
Well, I can't even make out the lyrics she's saying. Like I'm reading the subtitles. I'm like, if you say so.
No, I think that was interesting. Like, she's just an interesting character.
She is. I like her devil form. It's kind of cute in a way.
Yeah, and when she's in her devil form, the way that her vocals work as far as speech, it's like a male and female vocals like harmonized together.
Yeah.
And it gives it this really interesting quality.
Yeah, I really like the because it's at thirds, right? So it's like the harmonies are wow.
Yeah.
And I always like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of creativity gone into each one of these characters.
Oh yeah.
Just because, like, you know, with especially something like this story, and definitely with season 2, there are no less than 10 characters in this that like really matter to the plot
easily,
with like maybe 5 or 6 that are secondary characters
easily,
but they all have these interesting quirks. They all have these interesting looks, masks, backstories, powers, things that they do. They're all so unique. And it looked like the same amount of attention was put on the main ones as the secondary ones.
Yeah.
And it just really makes it work more.
Well, and that's why it's so successful as a season 2. We've got all our favorites from season 1, but we already know them, right? So now it can.
It just makes it feel more fully realized.
Sure.
And
yeah, we also get to know the Cross Eyes a lot more in this season, and most of them, the vast majority of them, can't produce smoke. That's what started this whole thing.
It focuses heavily on the Cross Eyes.
Yeah,
and the founding by Kai, who he was somebody who was born without powers and just wound up hating sorcerers in general. So he started the Cross Eyes to eliminate the world of them.
Right. Except that's really just what he thought, because, well, we'll get into the whole Aikawa Kaiman thing whenever you want.
Because that is like the most important thing to season 2.
So
and the hardest thing to follow.
We learn a lot about Kaiman in this season.
Right.
The things that by the end of season 2 he doesn't really understand. I don't think he fully realizes how many personalities or aspects of himself are like tucked inside this body. So originally, from our understanding, we had Kaiman. Now we knew that Kaiman woke up, didn't know who he was shocked to find he had a lizard head.
Nikaido found him.
Yes,
she found his body headless when she was an EMT, and she put him in a body bag. And when she went to go back to go check on him, he now had a head that was a lizard.
A lizard head.
He had no explanation for it. She doesn't know what's going on. They became friends, and now
she named him Kaiman because of the lizard head. He's named after a Kaiman lizard.
And she found him in the alley where all his memories come from.
Right.
Every time he passes by this specific alleyway, he gets flashes and his head hurts. Yeah. And he doesn't know why.
Poor baby has severe migraines.
Right.
So that's kind of where we meet Kaiman and all of that. But in reality, his story starts as I Coleman.
Yes.
And he was a boy who very much wanted to become a sorcerer.
The ultimate sorcerer.
Or just, any sorcerer.
To rid the world of all sorcerers.
He was born a human. He was not born a sorcerer. Right. And he ends up meeting Kasakabe before he, de-aged himself and all of that. Yeah. And they work together. Kasakabe, we know from season 1, experiments a lot on dead sorcerers, using dead sorcerer body parts to do things like create a door to the sorcerer's world. Yep. Things like that. He's very mad scientist in all of this.
Replacing basically all of Ai's body parts with sorcerer body parts.
Well,
like organs and shit.
In a way, because they had gone through and they were doing all of these experiments using dead sorcerer bodies. And then they got to the point where they needed one more, but it was like this sorcerer who was drowning in this horrific lake of sewage and rotting sorcerer parts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I leaps into it. And I think that's the difference, because something about he basically almost dies in that toxic muck, and he's poisoned to the point where he is going to die. And he and Kasakabe had been at the point in their research that it only would take one more and then we can do the surgery. Dude, I'm going to die anyways. Take my notebook. Here's all my findings. Here's all the stuff I've been working on. Please, Mr. Kasakabe, do this surgery on me. Make me a sorcerer. Kasakabe does it. And before they had been trying to turn people into sorcerers, they had all died. They'd all kind of exploded, just kind of, and well, there they go.
Yeah.
And but this time I is healing. And so they're tracking that. And then I says, okay, well, hey, he goes out for something or other. He's like, all right, oh, by the way, I'm a sorcerer now. And Kasakabe's like, what? And then flash forward a couple of days and he finds I like dead in the gutter, or so he thought. Right. So he left it there. He was under the impression that I was dead. They had a funeral for him. I's grandpa was there. They buried him. Whatever. Okay. So, but I wasn't actually really dead, and he was a sorcerer. He faked his death. He went to the sorcerer's world. That's where so there are multiple personalities within this one being. He started as I, then he becomes Aizawa, right? Who goes to school and he meets Risu. They become partners.
Right.
Risu, we know from season 1 as well, was the head that
inside of Kaiman.
Right. And so Risu was a cross eyes.
Yes.
And so Aizawa is kind of tangentially connected at the same time. But what also has to be true is that Kai has to be active as well, has to have been active, because Kai is the boss of the Cross Eyes. He's
the founder.
Yeah. He
boss.
doesn't have the tattoos. He naturally has the crosses on his eye.
That's where the cross-eye tattoos come from.
The inspiration
based on
for them.
what he just normally has.
Right. And Kai is extraordinarily cruel and bloodthirsty. His magic allows him to basically absorb other sorcerers' powers through killing them. He slurps them up, and now he has those powers. So Kai is going around, forming the Cross Eyes, and they hate the sorcerers because they can't produce smoke. They can't work magic, even though Kai secretly can, and he keeps that from the Cross Eyes, right?
Right.
So he's just the boss. And he goes around, and Risu confides in Aikawa what his magic is. And that's this thing called curse.
Yep.
Do you want to talk about curse at all? I'm just completely taking over this episode.
Curse is... no, that's fine. I mean, curse is one of the oldest entities aside from Chiruruma.
Okay.
And it's basically just the embodiment of pestilence. Because Chiruruma is he's the original devil.
He's like the OG devil. Yeah.
He was the first thing to come to be when there was nothing. And he came to be because he wanted to live. Once he was created...
I think, therefore I am.
He created hell, and then created devils, and created pretty much everything that we have in this universe of Dorohedoro. Right?
Okay.
He simply out of boredom.
Right.
And it's one of those things where, he created devils so that he would have somebody to talk to, friends to hang out with. He created humans so that they had somebody to fuck with.
Yeah.
He created sorcerers so that the sorcerers could fuck with the humans for their amusement.
It's just a new faction for my game.
Yeah,
type
and
thing.
It's kind of similar to Death Note, I guess, in that way with the
Shinigami.
Yeah, they're just kind of like there to fuck with.
Oh, they're bored.
Yeah, they're bored.
Yeah,
it's one of those types of situations.
Yeah,
so Curse is one of the older entities.
One of the more original creations of Chiruruma.
He wasn't created by Chiruruma.
Oh, okay.
he's just
just
another,
is.
yes.
Okay.
He came into existence, and in the manga, there's a scene where they meet each other, and it's just like two kids on a playground meeting and becoming friends. Yeah, it's pretty cute. Like,
pretty cute. Cheetah and Curse.
That's what Curse
Adorable.
is. So Curse is like one of the harder to manage entities.
Yeah, well, he's almost like Lovecraftian in a way.
Right.
He's a lot of eyes and a lot of rage.
As far as I know, up to this point, at least in the anime, there's no way to kill him.
Right. Because the way he transfers is you have to kill the person who he's like possessing currently. So Risu is the current host of Curse. And I don't think he fully understands what Curse is either. He just thinks of it as his magic.
Right.
And he confines in Aizawa. Well, Aizawa is also Kai, even though I'm not sure exactly how aware they are of each other. But Kai decides he wants Risu's magic. So he kills Risu, and that transfers Curse to him.
Right.
But that really backfires because, like, then that's how he loses his head, becomes Kaiman, all of that shit.
Yes.
So Risu is killed. He loses his head, but he comes back later. And he thinks that Aizawa, sorry, that's from My Hero Academia. He thinks Aikawa is the one who killed him because he's the only person he told about his magic.
Right. So Risu, all of that happens in season 1.
Right.
They bring him back to life with the use of Kikurage and Noe.
Yeah, and we think for a while that Risu was Kaiman. Or at least I was led to believe that.
So now Kaiman and Risu are living independently of each other. And that was like a weird thing going on.
We were like, how?
And now Risu, his entire purpose in life is to find out who killed him.
Yes.
And another thing that I should probably mention about Curse is the way his powers work. It's, he obviously has the powers of whatever sorcerer or host he is possessing. And on top of those powers, he also can give them 2 extra arms with these elongated claws that are sharp as hell, whatever. And any magic, it's immune to magic. Your magic won't work on it because as soon as it gets within a parameter, it'll reflect it right back at
Which is
caster.
why for season 1, magic didn't work on Kaiman.
Yes.
Because Kaiman was really Kai who killed Risu and obtained Curse. And so Curse is now possessing Kaiman, but wasn't happy about this whole thing either.
But that's important too, because that's one of the reasons why you can't really kill Curse, or at least at this point, there is no known way to kill him because any amount of sorcery that you use on him will just get reflected back at you.
Well, and if you do physical damage, well, that attacks his body, like the host, not him.
And
so
the Curse itself could just detach from
he'll
the host.
Just go somewhere else.
Become a specter.
Yeah, sure. So, for a decent amount of season 2, Kaiman is still Kaiman, and none of this really is. There's we see scenes of like Aikawa,
lack of Kaiman in season 2,
and there is some, but there's a lot more going on, and
Kaiman
it's also going
character,
into
he was awesome in season 1.
He's deep within.
Yeah.
Aikawa. You can see more of Kaiman in Aikawa. Like he eats a lot all the time.
Yeah.
He has this attraction thing to Nikaido, who has it back to him, who, she's like, "You're Kaiman," and he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about. Leave me alone."
Well, apparently in the manga, Kaiman has powers. It's Gyoza power. He has a gyoza wand that can, it can rain down hot burning oil and it fries his enemies. And he has this gyoza headpiece. Yeah, it's really
We
weird.
were robbed.
Yeah.
Well, that's weird because Kaiman's whole thing is he hates all sorcerers.
Right. Yeah, I don't know how that works.
So, I mean, you could say that kind of comes through the Kai side of things. Kai really, as the boss of the Cross Eyes, really just kind of wants to take over everything from what I can tell.
He wants to rid the world of sorcerers.
Yes, but also absorbing all the good powers within himself.
The ultimate sorcerer.
Because we meet, we do meet several other Cross Eyes.
Well, and that's the thing with Kai too, isn't it that whenever he kills a sorcerer and absorbs their powers, he could just have the powers of any sorcerer that he kills. So it's not like a transference of that particular sorcerer. Like he doesn't lose his old power.
Yeah,
and
no,
gain a
it's
new
just
one.
and also.
Right.
It's a yes and.
So he's gearing himself up to be a pretty formidable
right.
enemy in this series. And it's kind of weird
he's taking useful powers into himself.
Well, just the subversion of the protagonist antagonist being the same character.
That was really cool.
Yes.
Because there's a moment in season 2 where we really see Kai for the first time, and he's you see his profile, and he's doing that tongue thing, that like thing. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, is Kaiman the bad guy?
Right. Yes. And he is. Like,
oh my God.
It's just really cool how they took the protagonist and what you thought was the protagonist, and then now he's like the ultimate antagonist for the series.
Good.
This is
it's done really well.
Very clever. This is very cleverly written.
Oh yeah.
This is one of the most unique
every
stories.
breadcrumb is there. You know, I've talked on several episodes about like, give me a twist, but it has to be believable. I have to be able to go back and go, oh, I see. It didn't just come out of nowhere. I don't like the mangaka absolutely did not just pull this out of her ass. A female mangaka again. I did mention that in the first one, but I gotta say it again. Woo. Anyways, so most of the stuff I enjoy is made by guys. So every time there's a girl, I'm like, yay. Yeah. So
no, it's cool. Like she's a really good writer.
Every bit of this, as weird and wonky and off the wall and batshit insane as it is, does make sense.
In the context of the world she has created.
Oh, sure, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's all nonsense. All of it's nonsense. None of this is realistic.
Are we going to get into Mr. N's various new products, versions of himself? Yeah. Like, there's so much we can
But no, it never breaks its own lore. It never steps outside of it. There's
it
no
adds
loopholes.
to it in believable ways that still are surprising, but in all the best ways.
There's not a hole in the plot that happens simply because they wrote themselves in a corner or anything like that. All. It is all very.
This is meticulously planned out and fucking executed.
So yeah, if you want to get into N and his new mushroom.
It's just so weird. All his different mushroom things.
Well, and here, this too, like N was the ultimate sorcerer in season 1.
Right.
Like he was the ultimate villain that had all these insane powers that were basically mushroom centric,
mushroom based powers.
So yeah, if he wanted to defeat you, he would simply just turn every cell in your body into a mushroom. Yeah,
or have you breathe in the spores and then make them split, which he does do.
He was actually the ultimate sorcerer, and until
until he wasn't.
Yeah, but anyways, I just wanted to throw that out there because...
But arguably also, there's this whole war between, like, was he actually evil? Was he actually trying to keep things safe for the sorcerer world? Like, it's this whole... Because Shen and Noe, or at least Shen, really do believe that him being the guy in charge is better than the Cross Eyes, because the Cross Eyes also were distributing black powder a lot, which can just lets anybody who can't do magic
temporarily.
But those people who do produce smoke naturally and are sorcerers, it like super overpowers them. And we see that early in the season where, like, even one of the Cross Eyes like takes a bunch of black powder, becomes this fucking like enormous shambling mess of a giant that very nearly kills like Shen and Noe for good.
Yeah.
And yeah, so there's a lot of danger there. You see what happens when Ebisu takes some, because her powers aren't super reliable. And God, her whole backstory and her like reveal of her, like, she
finally comes home and finds out that there's a doppelganger of her living in her house.
Parents had like a kind of a new version of her made.
Yeah,
because they missed her so badly, but it went wrong.
Yep. They gave a devil part of her DNA so that they could make her come back when she was
he put it in his forehead and spat out a tube. It becomes like a tube of toothpaste and just squeezes out a new Ebisu.
Again, this shit's all so fucking weird, but it's amazing to watch. Just how would you go about that? Well, Any way you want.
That's why one of the reasons I love this.
You put the DNA in his forehead. And his big toothpaste tube hat squeezes out like a skeleton.
I like to think I have a really good imagination, but it's not in me to come up with this shit.
It makes me feel like inadequate as any type of creative person watching this.
You're more of a surrealist than I am. So like I'm just like, oh my God, this is incredible. Come up with this. I could never come up with this
but
stuff.
It's amazing to watch.
Like Kikurage has a big day out. That's fantastic.
Yeah, we find out how like sadistic Kikurage really is.
But yes,
she's like crushing this cockroach
my God, the bug,
and then bringing it back to life just to kill it again and again.
She's like, "Hey, friend, come on, wake up, play." Yeah, but at the same time, she really does love Ebisu and stuff like that. She's like, "Excuse me, you're supposed to give me a treat at this time every day."
Ebisu is really the only character that she listens to.
Right.
Other than that, she just does her own thing.
She does her own thing. I love Kikurage. Yeah. I liked her in the first season, but you actually get.
That's why I thought that, like, the whole like Vegeta situation where he was trying to become partners with Ebisu during Blue Night.
Right.
And I thought that Kikurage was going to become Ebisu's partner because of the connection between only doing what Ebisu tells.
I think the problem with that is originally N wanted the death magic sorcerer to be his partner, and then he found out it's Kikurage, and he absolutely adores her. But then he found out about that there's a sorcerer that can manipulate time, and so Kikurage becomes like the pet.
Right.
And then he has to try and figure out who is Nikaido.
I mean, what do you need with resurrection when you can go back in time and prevent it from happening?
Yeah. So Kikurage just kind of hangs out unpartnered. But that would have been nice. But I don't think N would have ever allowed that partnership because then Kikurage would have been more outwardly tied to Ebisu than him, and he wouldn't be okay with that.
Oh, also, Kikurage is the only character whose smoke is white.
Yeah. Well, she gives life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's important.
It is.
Because of the color white in, Japanese culture and what it represents, the purity and all that.
And it's also often the color of mourning and stuff like that. So, so we get that. Chota has a lot more screen time this season because he's actually like
Nikaido.
Yeah, he's
he's so jealous of Nikaido that while she is away, he turns himself into Nikaido. Well,
yeah, he helped her to escape.
Yes.
And run away with Kaiman at the end of season 1 because he's like, no. So he'll just look like Nikaido. So he is like lounging all over N and N thinks it's actually Nikaido. It's ridiculous.
Chota, he's, again, I said this on the first episode. He's one of those characters that should just irritate the shit out of me, but he is enduring as hell.
He is. Like, when, towards the end of the season, after he and Kikurage are, like, blown away, and he's stuck in that tree and, like, starving and almost dead, I was like, oh, I hope. Aw.
He's just fun to watch. And
any
interaction that he
amazing.
has is just, you're going to laugh.
Jeez. Turkey is back.
And that's another thing that this series as a whole does very well is the fact that, like, just all the, like, excruciating visceral violence that you're watching and then immediately counteracted with, like, the silliest humor.
Oh, yeah. It's a great balance.
The balance
and real heart, too. And there's some really cute moments, like actual sweet moments, like when Nikaido and Kaiman are sitting, like, on the porch at the bathhouse. And she asks him if he'll come work with her, and they're both like doing the little blush thing and like, and
or, just those moments with Ebisu, like in season 2, when they eat the new strain of mushroom and they all go into the dream together. Right. And then Ebisu has her boobs back and she's just like rubbing them all over N.
She's like, ah! Yeah. So there are sweet I mean, there's a whole spectrum of emotion that goes on here. And you end up, or at least I do, like, we spend quite a bit of time with the Cross Eyes, Dokuga, and the gang, who are maybe the poorest I've ever seen. They've got all these side hustles, but it's little things like that.
The newspaper man comes around and they run down there to grab newspapers so they can have it as toilet paper.
Well, yeah, no, they're going to trade newspapers for toilet paper. They've been saving old newspapers. The landlady ends up accidentally getting killed, and so they're trying to like bring her back to her house to stage it and whatever. But then like one of them is finishing up an embroidery side hustle because it's due tonight, so he's like carefully embroidering these little roses while there's like this enormous woman there. Yeah. And then it ends up becoming Nikaido's panties, but Nikaido's actually Chota. So like, yes. I love this show, man.
The reveal of Nikaido wearing the panties and talking like Chota.
Because the cross eyes guy was just like, oh, I hope this becomes some lovely lady's handkerchief. And then it's like, whoomp.
And by the way, the voice actress doing Nikaido is actually playing Chota.
It's like being Chota as Nikaido. She nailed the cadence
spot on.
100%.
It is. It is wild to listen to.
So good. It's so well done.
Yeah, there was a lot of love and attention to detail put into the series as a whole. Season 2, I think, is just like, it cranked it up.
Yeah.
And this is one of the best modern anime.
I think so. I think it's criminally underrated.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you want to talk about like N
I could keep talking about things.
We should probably explain.
We should talk about N. We should talk about the cross eyes some more.
Storyline here because he is killed.
Yeah, he is.
And that's a big deal in this world because he was meant to be the number one
did
sorcerer.
End it with saying there's still a chance for him. We got to find the tumor devil.
Yeah, I know.
So
he'll be back.
Yeah, I know. Well, no, he might not be. Keith Silverstein is the voice actor for Mr. N. And he does such a good job. It's weird to me because I played Genshin Impact for quite a few years, and he's the voice of Zhongli. I talked about that in the first episode as well. So I mentioned the same.
In the first episode, the voice of Noe is the female V in Cyberpunk. Right. So that's where I knew that voice from. So as soon as I heard Noe speak,
there's a lot of really famous voice actors in this. Kaiman is Alex Lee, who's a lot of people. Kasukabe in the younger form is Griffin Burns. It's this whole big thing.
Right.
But Mr. N gets absolutely fucking slaughtered. And it's that scene, because that's where we really see the boss of the Cross Eyes for the first time. And I'm sitting there going,
now, is he the one that's wielding the store knife now?
The store knife?
Okay, so Kaiman's
what?
Kaiman's knife has a whole backstory to it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's known as the store knife. The store is a character. It's this like
of course
it's a 10-foot tall, like shadowy figure that kind of resembles a demon mixed with a bird. And the head kind of looks like Chota's mask. I don't know if there's supposed to be a connection there, but it looks kind of like.
Have we seen it in the anime?
No.
Okay. All right. I'm like, how the hell did I forget this?
No, but the store exists in hell. It's basically Hell's Kitchen. And the knife itself comes out of this entity because over time it grows bone out of its spine and they break off. And that's what this knife is made out of.
Oh, that's gross.
So that's why Kaiman's knife can cut through anything,
I guess I didn't notice that it was any kind of special knife.
But I think that
Kai
knife,
would have it then. Kai Aikawa.
Yes, I think that's how he ends up killing N with the knife.
Interesting.
It's because it's made from the spine, the bone.
Interesting.
What's known as the store.
Well, all I know is like 6 years before N and the boss of the Cross Eyes had this confrontation that ended up leveling a city. And, then the boss of the Cross Eyes disappeared. And N, it's like the only thing that N is like actually like worried about. Because he had this feeling, he was like, it's gonna happen. Like, he's gonna come back. And I'm gonna have to. And it is, to be fair, in that moment, when N walks in there and Chota's there and Kikurage and sees Kai, he takes Kikurage, gives her to pushes her into Chota's arms, turns Chota's head into a huge mushroom and umbrellas them away. He's like, you have got to get her out of here. I think in that moment he knew he was going to fucking die. Yeah. And he wanted to make sure that Kikurage, I don't know that he cared so much about Chota, but he wanted to make sure Kikurage was out and safe.
He probably just wanted Chota away from him.
I think Chota was an easy thing to make sure Kikar, and if En had the time to think about it that deeply, Chota will do absolutely anything and asks him to do with every, ounce of his being. So
yes.
Yeah.
En is now dead in this season.
And it's so fast. It's just
and
done.
Kai now has his power.
Yeah.
Which is
horrifying.
Yeah.
Well, because
and he uses it in far more interesting ways than En did.
Yes, he does. Yeah. Yeah. And Turkey comes back in because Turkey in season 1 created a doll of Risu from the head to like find the head. That's like Turkey's power. He creates dolls of... Oh, she?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. She creates dolls based off of like people who are dead. If you're trying to find their tumor devil, basically, is what or their head.
Mm-hmm. It's naturally drawn to it.
Right. So the body will try and find the head to like put itself back together. So Turkey comes in and makes one of En.
That's how they find
And then later
Risu's
Kikurage.
head in season 1.
Yeah. Yes.
Because Turkey makes a doll of Risu that goes and finds its head.
Yep. So Turkey's back to do that again. And they do track down En's head, but the back of it has been caved out. The brain is gone. The tumor devil's gone.
Yep.
And it's just like hooked up to all of these like wires and shit. It's very like 1950s, 60s, like, well, I can't think of the name of that movie, but of the woman's head on the table, that has all of the... Weird Movies with Mark did a video on it. She's just like a head on a table with all these wires and shit, but she's like blinking and talking and stuff. It doesn't matter. Just an old like sci-fi thing. Yeah, sure. So yeah, except he's absolutely not alive at all. And they do track that down, Shen and Noe, and they find because they're following the En doll. And then at the same time, the Cross Eyes gang, like Dokuga and his guys, are trying to track down the boss, and they all end up at the same place.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when, because we've spent quite a bit of time with the Cross Eyes gang in season 2, and I have a lot, like, I really enjoyed them. You learn more about like Dokuga, and I love his little moth hood. I love the moth hood. It's fantastic.
Yeah, his aesthetic is really nice.
It's so
Everyone's
good.
aesthetic in this is really good. Like I said, they paid just as much attention to the
He's got like the
characters.
eyes that are insectile, like his irises have like,
Yeah, everything. I mean, this series in general just oozes creativity and uniqueness. Mm-hmm. It's unlike any other anime I've ever watched. This is by far my favorite anime ever.
But, well, mine is still One Piece, but this is very good. But the problem with that is now my two favorite people in season 2, it's Shin versus Dokuga, and I was like, oh no!
Yeah, but I mean, no matter who wins, you win, right?
No, but that also means no matter who wins, I lose. So, and God, it's fucking brutal, man. Ooh, and plus I knew who was gonna win. Like between those two, sorry.
Well, again, just to reiterate, I do recommend going and watch the Better Devils YouTube channel just to get some backstory on any of this. If you have not seen Dorohedoro or read the manga at all, start there. Get the lore on the characters first. Then go into season 1, because season 1, it's there to basically lube you up before second season destroys you.
All right.
Because season 2, there's a lot going on, far more than season 1. There's a lot to pay attention to. There's a lot of intricate stuff that you have to pay attention to make sense of anything that's going on, especially when it comes to the Kaiman character.
Yeah.
Because now you've got this one character that now has 3 different backstories.
Yeah.
That all make sense, and they're all important. So I'm ready for season 3.
Hell yeah.
I can't wait. I know we've got some time before that's even going to happen. But
but from what I can tell, they have said it's supposed to be within the next 2 years. Yeah. Which, given how long it took for us to get a season 2, and how long it tends just for anime in general for another season,
it's hard
2
being
years
a fan of anime.
A fanime, yeah. That's me. Hi. Yeah. You didn't want to do a Witch Hat Atelier episode, so here we'll do Dorohedoro.
I don't even know what that is. Is that some Fruits Basket shit?
No, Fruits Basket is its own thing and is an absolute masterpiece, and I will not hear anything bad about it.
All right, well, do you recommend Dorohedoro?
Hell yeah, I do.
I do too. I think it's one of the most creative
Understand
things you could watch.
It
today.
is immensely violent. I can't stress that enough.
Yeah. It's
it
gross.
does not hold back. It doesn't cut away. It cuts
but
into.
But it is over the top, silly violence. So it's like.
It makes you go, ah! But we can still eat dinner while we're watching it.
Yeah, and you can still laugh while you're watching it.
Oh my God. Some of it.
Because humor is a big part of this too.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, as much as the violence.
It's ridiculous and wonderful.
Yeah, and the balance is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Mappa knocked it out of the park with the animation on this season.
100%.
I'm really glad. Moving forward, it's just going to get better.
Oh, yeah.
Which means Chainsaw Man is also going to look better.
I hope so.
When we get another one. So, yeah. All across the board.
Yeah, no, it was to the point where we were like, do we want to do an episode on, we already did a Dorohedoro, and it's like, there's so much to say about season 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we scratched the surface. We got the 2 main points out.
Oh, there's so much
more
we did not
going
talk
on here,
about.
And this would be a 4-hour long
It would just be us
episode.
going, oh, and then, oh, ah.
But yeah, highly recommend you go watch it. Good. Go read the manga. Just absorb yourself in this universe, and then go watch YouTube lore videos as well, because there's a lot of interesting stuff going on in this series. All right, well, I guess we can call that an episode. Jess, where can people find you?
There was a kitten biting my foot.
That's typical.
It is. My name's Jess. You can find me on Instagram at just_JessMoon. I do have a publishing house. It's called Shadow Spark Publishing. You can find us on the web, on the interwebs, at shadowsparkpub.com. You can find us on a lot of social media there. I do have a Twitter. It's at JHLMoon. Don't bother with the Instagram, JHLMoon. I don't have access to that.
Yeah.
Whatever. Come say hi.
Right on. You can find me on Instagram at Deadbeat Chad. You can follow the podcast on Instagram as well at The Pretty Little Podcast. We have a YouTube channel where you can listen to all of our episodes there if you prefer. That is youtube.com/at The Pretty Little Podcast 69420. Thanks everybody for listening. Thank you for downloading. We actually just had a video we found out that did very, very well. It made
no sense to me.
Overnight.
You guys are fucking Cool World fans. What?
So I don't know what that's all about, but thank you guys so much. We really do appreciate each and every one of you that listen and join us every other week. Until we see you again, stay pretty.